Welcome to Biohacking with Brittany. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. I'm your host, Brittany Ford, and I am a holistic nutritionist and podcaster and all of the things. And I feel like that is my current intro. Very simple, very straightforward, and I am glad you are listening. Today, I am doing a solo episode. I've been doing a lot of these recently. Honestly, it's because it's so much easier to record solo episodes when you have a baby versus trying to book an interview and meet somebody and do all of that. So I love these solo episodes, especially as I go through my own health journey. I have so many things I want to talk about and share with you. And honestly, I love them. Like I think I need to just continue to do them as much as I can, because I'm always learning so much and I just love sharing this with you and being able to provide long content and further information than I can on Instagram or TikTok. That being said, I definitely have some really exciting interviews coming up now that I'm being very particular about the type of people I let on my podcast. So what I mean by that is I think before having my son, Callahan, it was very much like I was very open to having all types of people on the podcast and learning, and it was much, easier almost. And I was much more open. And now I feel like my time is so valuable that the guests that I'm interviewing are people I actually want to spend more time with and find are, I don't want to say higher quality, but they just can bring more to the table. So as a podcast in general, my standards have become higher of the type of people who I would like to be on the podcast. And I think that's natural, especially as the podcast grows. I think that's very natural to happen. So for example, some really cool guests coming up by the end of this year I'm talking to the team at Tiny Health. They have gut microbiome tests for babies. This is so fascinating. I cannot wait to talk to them. And so they test babies and they test moms. We're going to talk about oh my gosh, so many things. C-sections, eczema, skin flare-ups, how to know if your baby's bacteria and microbiome is off, dysbiosis, leaky gut, all of these things that can happen with a baby, during pregnancy. I have so many questions for them and I'm just so intrigued. I'm also talking to the team at Evivo, which is this next level infant probiotic. I heard about them through Dr. Mark Hyman, who is a functional medicine doctor, and they have a probiotic that actually basically stays in the gut of a baby and helps to cultivate a healthier microbiome rather than just passing through, which can happen with a lot of the probiotic supplements that you see for babies. So they have a ton of research and I'm really excited about bringing them on. We're going to talk about all the different types of probiotics and prebiotics and all the things under the sun like that. And again, I want to talk about C-sections and actually they sent me this very interesting email, and if you're a mom, a healthy mom, not so healthy mom, doesn't matter. If you know about this is the first time I've heard about it. It's called the atopic march. I think that's what they said. But essentially, and we will dive into this in the episode, is there is this very similar pattern that babies and then into children and then into adults follow if their microbiome is off at birth, and it presents very similarly. And so I think it's something along the lines of baby will have eczema, child will have allergies, and then adult will have asthma or chronic health issues. So we're going to get into that and how that develops, why it follows that curve, and why there's a pattern that we can see in people now. So stuff like that we're going to talk about. Who else do I have coming on? I pitched Pendulum to come on. Pendulum, if you're listening, please respond. Pendulum is a very cool GLP-1 probiotic, and I really just want to pick their brain. I think one of their most recent scientific officers or, people, I forget his name, was on Ben Greenfield's podcast. And I heard them and I was like, wow, this is so fascinating. I have to talk to these people. I want to talk about GLP-1 and, let's talk about Ozempic and how it works. And let's talk about how their probiotic and their probiotic strain that they found and brought to market, Akkermansia, helps and can function similar to Ozempic and things like that. So I really want them to come on. I recently just ordered Pendulum, so it's hard to get in Canada, but I have it. So they're hopefully coming on. And who else? I've pitched quite a few people that I'm waiting to hear back from. I would love Dr. Taz to come on. I need to follow up with her. She is awesome. She's a holistic doctor, and I've been a huge fan of hers for a very long time. So yeah, exciting guests, people who I love everyone who comes on the podcast. Like, don't get me wrong, but I think I'm at a point now, again, like I said, once you have a baby, time has a very different meaning, very, very different. And so I really just want to sit down with like the best of the best, the people that I can get on and talk about these topics. And so it just changes. It simply changes. And as well, when, we've hit the 300 episode mark, I'm at a point now where I have more of a platform where I can like pitch bigger people to come on versus in the beginning where it's kind of like, you're talking to all sorts of people because you're just building momentum. So I'm happy that we're at this point. And yeah, who knows who's going to come on in 2025? My goodness. Wow. Haven't even thought that far. I think like it's the following week coming up, not that far ahead. So that being said, lots of solo episodes on topics that I'm going through. Some of you have pitched a few topics. Recently, a friend mentioned to me yesterday, she's like, what she's going through, I should ask her what it is. She might think that she has this, I forget what it's called, serious sensitivity to EMF. And she's like, you need to do a podcast episode on like the 5 things you can do in your home to mitigate EMF. So I have so many podcast episodes on EMF, but I think I can do a new rundown for her and just help her as somebody who is newly in this space of trying to mitigate radiation. Okay. That being said, today we are going to be talking about fabric and clothing. Can you believe that? My goodness. So before I dive in, yeah, I guess I can like preview a little bit. I am so surprised that I'm doing this episode right now, I guess. Fabric and clothing and the clothing that I wear has never really been something that I have biohacked, let's say, or cared too much about what it's made out of. I used to work at Lululemon. Like, do you know what I mean? It's never been something that I was like, oh, has to be organic, has to be natural fibers. I didn't ever really care that much. And then I had a child. And once you have a baby and you start like having to shop for somebody else all of the time, I started seeing again and again, like 100% organic cotton onesie, pants, shirts, whatever it was. And I was like, why? Like, is there that much of a market for creating organic clothing for babies? Like, why am I seeing more of this available for babies than I am for adults? So that kind of got my wheels turning. And then I started hanging out with the moms in, my local community. And so many of them were, putting their kids in like wool, more natural fibers. And then I was like, okay, there was obviously something to this. And I'm talking to my one friend who is very much in this space. Like her son wears like all high quality pieces, all organic wool, cashmere, all these things I'm going to get into. And she just said, like, once you start looking into it, you realize how nasty those chemicals are and how nasty the clothing is. And I was like, wow, I had no idea. So I started going down the rabbit hole. Lo and behold, like now I will forever look at clothing differently. When I read labels, it will be different. And I hope that this podcast does the same for you. I want this to be very educational because listen, most of this I did not know myself until this past week. Okay. And it will definitely be influencing my purchasing decisions for forevermore, for myself, for my family, for my kids, that type of thing. And especially as I see my son who has skin issues, he had a really bad diaper rash in his first month. And now his cheeks are super red. I think it's like a teething rash. It's gotten a lot better. And then he has a bit of eczema on his back. And so that pushes me even further to think, okay, what fabrics is he wearing and how is it impacting his skin? Now, obviously, those things we know have a root cause, hence me getting his microbiome tested. And I'm also getting his genetics tested as well and putting him on this next level probiotic because skin issues obviously stem from the gut. And we know that. But I do want to reduce his toxic load, his toxin load. And so part of that is clothing. So that is the why behind this episode. I think you are going to learn a lot. I think I say that in a lot of episodes, but today, because I learned a lot doing this research. So strap in, and I hope this is very helpful for you, even as an individual or for your family as well. Before we get started, shout out to Qualia. My goodness, everyone loves Qualia. Qualia creates a senolytic. This is a supplement that works on one of the hallmarks of aging, which is senescence. Senescence basically is a process where we get rid of the old cells, we bring in the new cells, cellular turnover. And how can we kind of like expedite that? As that process starts to diminish and slow down, I think it's in our 30s. How can we kind of support that? And one of the ways that we can do that is by taking Qualia's senolytic supplement. And what I love about this one is it's only 2 days out of the month. And you only kind of need to do it 3 to 4 times a year, assuming that you're relatively healthy. So it is very significant in the way that it works. It's very strong. Those 2 days, you take 6 supplements, 6 pills each day. It's got things like quercetin in it, fisetin, and a bunch of other different molecules that really help to clean out your cells. I love this. I highly recommend this to everybody. I just did a recent dose this month. I did not do this when I was pregnant, but I did it before and now I'm doing it after. Pregnancy is not the time to do any type of detoxing, in my opinion. But now I am happy to do it. And I just recommend this for anyone, especially if you're feeling like super tired and fatigued, if it's hard to get out of bed in the morning, if you're feeling sluggish, irritable, mood issues, if you're struggling with sleep, like things where it just feels like the general like battery of your body is low. You really want to be looking at cellular health at that point. So Qualia is great for that. You can use my discount code biohackingbrittany to save. It will be linked on my website and in the show notes. And a shout out to Bioptimizers who are doing a full Black Friday deal all November long. This is awesome. So if you've heard of Bioptimizers and you're like, oh, I've always wanted to try their supplements, November is the best time for you to do this. It is awesome. And their supplements are on sale all month long. And I strongly suggest it. So you can order the special bundle on my link and it will be 15% off. And then if you use my promo code, you will get an extra 10% off. That is 25% off, which is crazy. That is such a good deal. And I really want that for you. I think that's awesome. So again, you can get 25% off and use my discount code biohackingbrittany. Now that is for, all sorts of supplements that Bioptimizers has, from their probiotic to their digestive enzymes, their magnesium, which they're very well known for, and their mushroom breakthrough powder. I had some yesterday. This is what I call my mommy milk that helps my brain function normally. So again, for November, 15% off. But if you use my discount code, you get an extra 10% off, which is awesome. So check it out, Bioptimizers. I love them. They are a staple in my household and I recommend them to everybody. Okie dokie. Let's dive into this episode. I'm going to talk about so many things. I'm going to talk about healthy fabrics, unhealthy fabrics, and really what you should be choosing. I'm going to talk about brands that I love that I have found are great so far. It's obviously not going to be fully encompassing because I think there's a lot of brands out there, but I think it's important that we talk about this. So what I mean by healthy fabrics, let's start there. These are fabrics that promote our well-being and really aren't going to be harmful to us, to our health, or to the environment. So the first one I want to talk about, and I'm going to talk about the impact on our health as well and brands, is cotton, organic cotton. Have you heard about senolytics yet? It's a class of ingredients discovered less than 10 years ago, and they're being called the biggest discovery of our time for promoting healthy aging and enhancing your physical prime. Your life goals in your career and beyond require productivity. Let's be honest. The aging process, however, is not our friend when it comes to endless energy and productivity. And that's why I use Qualia Senolytic. If someone had told me that there are science-backed ingredients that could help me feel 15 years younger in a matter of months, I would not have believed it until I tried this. As we age, everyone accumulates these senescent cells in our bodies. They're also kind of known as zombie cells. They are old and worn out and not serving a useful function for our health anymore, but they're taking up space and nutrients from our healthy cells. Much like getting rid of dead leaves off of a plant, Qualia Senolytic removes those worn out senescent cells to allow for the rest of them to thrive in the body. The best part is you actually only need to take it 2 days a month. When I have taken this, I've had higher energy levels. I have been more productive, felt more enthusiastic in life, and also had less aches and pains. So resist aging at the cellular level. Try Qualia Senolytic right now. Go to qualialife.com/Brittany for up to 50% off, which is wild. And use code Brittany at checkout for an additional 15% off. That's Qualia, spelled Qualia, life.com/Brittany for an extra 15% off of your purchase. Thanks to Qualia for sponsoring today's episode, and I will definitely be taking my share this month. So let's start there. So organic cotton is grown without synthetic pesticides and fertilizers, making it a safer choice for your skin and for your environment. Research from the Journal of Environmental Management shows that conventional cotton farming contributes significantly to environmental degradation due to its heavy pesticide use. Pesticides have been linked to a range of health issues, including skin irritations, respiratory problems, and even long-term effects like cancer. Organic cotton farming practices promote soil health, biodiversity, allowing for a more sustainable growing process. A study published in Agriculture, Ecosystems, and Environment highlights that organic cotton uses about 71% less water than conventional cotton. So when we're talking about these healthy fabrics, I wanted to start with the good ones, and then we'll talk about the unhealthy ones that you can try to avoid. But organic cotton is really interesting because you see a lot of things that say 100% cotton on them. And I think that is a really great start in terms of avoiding synthetic fabrics that are added to that. So it's not like a blend. But the organic part is important because it doesn't have any of that heavy pesticide use. So when it's rubbing against you, you're not having those pesticides on those fibers rub against your skin and into your body, which can cause rashes, skin irritations, eczema, or cause a flare-up, cause respiratory problems, things like asthma, allergies, or even long-term effects like cancer. What we can see here with this, and I heard about this yesterday when I was listening to a podcast episode, and I've heard about it multiple times, is when we're talking about choosing healthier clothing, it's not that this single thing is going to cause cancer. It's that it contributes when you wear clothing that's unhealthy, is how I'm wording it. When you wear clothing that is sprayed with pesticide use year after year after year, it contributes to your overall toxin load. And so the way that a lot of people describe the toxin load is like a bucket, right? So if you are being exposed to EMF, pollution, screens, not organic food, plastics, microplastics, all of these different toxins that we're seeing, things like vaccines, everything that's in those, certain medications, antibiotics, all of these different things. If you're constantly exposed to all of that, and then you are also, like I said, wearing these unhealthy fabrics, it can be like the tipping point of that bucket, right? That causes that respiratory problem to flare up, the eczema to flare up, or contributes to the long-term effects like cancer. So it's not a single thing that causes those long-term chronic health issues. It is the accumulation over time that then you do one single thing and it tips over the bucket, and now you're dealing with whatever health condition that you're dealing with. So what does that mean? That means that while it's great to start somewhere and, biohack these different areas of your life, food, exercise, sleep, like all of it actually does matter. And every single choice actually does matter, because you're slowly reducing how much is in your bucket and how much toxin load you're exposed to. So that's why choosing healthier fabrics and healthier clothing makes a difference, is because it's another layer that you are removing of toxins that you are exposed to. So for some people, this could really move the needle. And for some other people, like this could do a little bit, right? Like this could make a small difference. So I really think the small choices matter. I think every choice matters. And slowly, if you start to choose things that are 100% organic cotton over time, and slowly your wardrobe becomes more healthier fabrics and less polyester, the better for you, the better you are reducing your toxin load, the less full your bucket is going to be, the less at risk you are for long-term effects, respiratory issues, skin irritations, and things like that. So I just want to make that note of like, when I'm describing all of this, that's why that matters, is because we want to reduce the toxin load that you are exposed to. And so starting with healthy fabrics, organic cotton is obviously the easy one to think about. So there are some brands in this space. To be honest, I haven't done a lot of research on myself yet for 100% organic cotton, but brands that came up were brands like Pact, Koyuchi, which focus on organic cotton products, ensuring minimal exposure to harmful chemicals. There's one called Pehr Handmade, which also has organic baby clothing. So I'm going to do baby clothing a bit at the end and talk about my brands for that. So that's a good place to start, is like even just switching from a blend of synthetic fabrics to 100% organic cotton is somewhat affordable and easier to find. Then we have linen. So linen is derived from the flax plant and is naturally hypoallergenic. It has been shown to have antimicrobial properties, which can help reduce the growth of bacteria on the fabric. Studies indicate that linen can help regulate body temperature and wick moisture away from the skin, making it an excellent choice for sleepwear and bedding. A study published in Textile Research Journal highlights linen's breathability and moisture wicking properties, contributing to better sleep quality. The cultivation of flax requires less water compared to cotton and can grow in poorer soil conditions, which minimizes the environmental footprint. According to the European Journal of Agronomy, I don't think I said that correctly, flax crops can also contribute to soil health through crop rotation. So there's some brands like Eileen Fisher, which offer higher quality linen items, and Linen Chest. I will say, even places like Pottery Barn have linen available in terms of bedding and sheets and, different sleepwear, things like that. I've seen it there. I've also seen it at Crate and Barrel. Where else have I seen it? Hudson's Bay. So there's quite a few different places that you can get linen, bedding, and sleepwear. And speaking of, for organic cotton, I've also seen Pottery Barn and Crate and Barrel as well have organic cotton options. So it is actually much more accessible than you might think. Okay, then we have hemp. Hemp fabric is gaining popularity for its durability and sustainability. Research shows that hemp requires minimal water and no pesticides to grow, making it an eco-friendly choice. In fact, a study in the Journal of Industrial Hemp found that hemp can produce 2 to 3 times more fiber per acre than cotton and absorbs more CO2 during its growth cycle, contributing to carbon sequestration. Its antibacterial properties can help reduce odors and skin irritations, making it suitable for sensitive skin. The natural properties of hemp also include UV resistance and insulation, making it versatile for various applications. So there's brands like Hemp Tailor, Mud Jeans, and Hemp Basics all have hemp options. Personally, I don't love hemp. I find hemp clothing and fabric to be quite stiff and not very soft. So for me, I haven't really found anything that I love that's made out of hemp versus linen is very lightweight. It's cooler. I have like really nice white linen pants that I love. And linen is a very nice like summer fabric that like irons very well and can look very smart. Even as a suit for men, or a collared shirt, linen can look really nice. And again, it's like that light fabric, very breathable. Same with cotton. Cotton, you can do so much with cotton, the way that it's woven and spun versus hemp. It's just personally not my type of look. I find hemp is a little too hippie for me in the products that I've seen that are made out of hemp. So I don't personally have anything that's made out of hemp. Then we have bamboo. So bamboo fabric is soft, breathable, and moisture wicking, making it ideal for sensitive skin. Studies show that bamboo has inherent antibacterial properties, which can reduce the growth of odor-causing bacteria. A study in the Journal of Textile Science and Engineering found that bamboo fabric has a lower bacterial growth rate compared to cotton and polyester. Bamboo grows rapidly and requires little water, making it highly sustainable crop. It is also naturally regenerates without the need of replanting and which reduces soil erosion. So there are a lot of bamboo companies out there that you can take a look at, and there's a lot of baby bamboo companies as well. So again, just make sure that you're looking for organic if you can, and obviously feeling the fabric as well. I do like bamboo. I find bamboo is very soft, very lightweight. I don't find it warm, but that's okay. I don't think it's meant to really be warm, but it is a really nice, lightweight summer fabric, if you will. Then we have Tencel, which is also known as lyocell. So Tencel is made from sustainably sourced wood pulp through a closed loop process, meaning these solvents used in production are recycled and reused. So this is not necessarily I guess it's natural, but not really, because it's kind of made from wood pulp through a process. So this process results in a fabric that is not only incredibly soft and breathable, but also biodegradable. Studies suggest that Tencel is less likely to cause skin irritations compared to other fabrics. Research published in the Journal of Cleaner Production highlights the reduced environmental impact of Tencel production compared to conventional cotton and polyester. Tencel is also moisture wicking and has a natural shape or drape, making it comfortable for various garments. Its production process minimizes waste and pollution, further enhancing its eco-friendliness. So there's a lot of brands for this, like Reformation and Nasolo. Is that how you say that? Has it. Raven and Lily has it. I don't know if I have anything with this in it. I might, but I personally haven't looked for this yet. Then we have wool. So there's a lot I want to get into wool. I think there's a lot that can be really helpful when understanding wool, and it's easily becoming one of my favorite fabrics. So wool is a natural fiber known for its excellent insulation properties. It can regulate temperature and wick moisture away from the skin. So wool is super interesting. I'm going to talk more about it because I think there's more to say about wool because of where it comes from. So wool has these antibacterial properties. And when I was thinking about that, I was thinking when I was looking at different brands, they talk about that. And I was like, okay, so how? How is wool actually antibacterial? How does that work? How is a fabric antibacterial? So this is what my research came up with. So it says there is moisture absorption. So wool fibers can absorb moisture up to 30% of their weight without feeling wet. This ability helps keep the surface of the wool dry, creating an environment that is less conducive to bacterial growth. So the first part is like the moisture absorption. Do you have trouble recalling names, dates, or where you left things? I definitely do as a new mom. I kid you not, I am forgetting things all of the time. I feel like I'm juggling so much in my brain, and it's really hard to keep clear-minded when you are taking care of a newborn. If you're struggling and you're finding it difficult to focus during the day, or you notice yourself zoning out when people are talking to you, your cognitive health and your brain could really use some love. Bioptimizers has created a one-of-a-kind product called Mushroom Breakthrough that can supercharge your brain power. It's packed with highly concentrated mushroom extracts that science shows enhance memory, focus, processing speed, and more. Just one serving contains 5 potent superfoods, collagen, and 1.2 pounds of 4 concentrated mushrooms: lion's mane, reishi, cordyceps, and chaga. This cutting-edge blend is a powerful way to rebuild your brain and rewire it for maximum energy, focus, and performance in less than 30 days. After each serving of Mushroom Breakthrough, your ability to memorize and recall information will improve. This is actually I notice such a difference with this. I'm serious. Every time I take this, I notice a difference. And you'll get a heavy dose of antioxidants for immune support. The way that I do this is I drink it daily. I add 2 scoops to a large glass of nut milk, and I drink this in the afternoon. It's my afternoon pick-me-up that is not a stimulant. And as a new mom, as a parent, I literally rely on this. This is like my mommy's milk, mommy's mushroom milk that I rely on to get through my day and really help my brain perform much better, kind of like how it used to before having a baby. So don't miss out on the brain boosting power of this amazing product. For an exclusive offer, you can go to bioptimizers.com/biohackingbritney and use code biohackingbritney at checkout. This will get you the most amount off. So if you even compared to like Amazon or anywhere else that you see these products, my discount code will get you the most off. So make sure you use it. Again, that's biohackingbritney and use the code at checkout. And the great thing about Bioptimizers is that you can try it risk-free with their 365-day money-back guarantee. Try it now to sharpen your edge and reach your full potential. Secondly, it's the natural lanolin. Wool contains a natural waxy substance called lanolin, which has antibacterial properties. Lanolin helps repel moisture and protects the wool fibers, contributing to the overall cleanliness of the fabric. Then we have the pH level. So wool has a slightly acidic pH level, which can inhibit the growth of certain bacteria. This natural acidity helps reduce odors and maintain freshness. And then the structure of the wool fibers. So the structure of wool fibers with their complex surface can physically trap bacteria and dust, preventing them from proliferating. And then we have the temperature regulation. So Wool fibers have a crimped structure that creates air pockets, providing excellent insulation. This allows wool to retain body heat in cooler conditions while still being breathable, keeping you warm without overheating. It also has the moisture management, which we kind of talked about, but wool can absorb moisture without feeling wet. When the body sweats, wool can wick moisture away from the skin, allowing it to evaporate. This helps regulate body temperature by preventing the body from feeling clammy or chilled. Breathability. Wool is highly breathable due to its natural fiber structure. It allows for air circulation, helping to dissipate heat when needed and preventing overheating in warmer conditions. And then it also has the thermal stability. So wool fibers can adjust to temperature changes, providing warmth when it's cold and remaining cooler in warmer conditions. This makes wool suitable for a wide range of climates and activities. I think this is so interesting, which makes sense when you think about when wool is used for certain types of garments and types of clothing. So we see a lot of like wool socks, hats, gloves, the inside of a jacket, lots of things for like camping, hiking, that type of thing. And there is a lot of great brands of wool out there for both adults and for kids that I'm going to mention briefly. But before I do want to talk about the different types of wool. So this is interesting. A couple of these I actually didn't know about. So merino wool is arguably one of the most common ones that we know of. And when I lived in New Zealand for a year, this was kind of everywhere. And it's because it's primarily from Australia and New Zealand, like from the sheep that live there. So merino wool is finer and softer. Research from the International Journal of Clothing Science and Technology indicates that merino wool can help regulate body temperature, keeping wearers warm in winter and cool in summer. Brands like Icebreaker and Mech offer high quality merino wool, perfect for outdoor activities. And so this is, one of the most common ones that you will see out there. Then we have the cashmere. So cashmere is actually from goats, which I don't know if I knew that. I don't think I did when I was doing this research, but it is a luxurious fiber from cashmere goats in Mongolia, China, and Afghanistan. Cashmere has excellent insulating properties and is ideal for cold weather. The production of cashmere is resource intensive though, requiring about 6,000 liters of water per kilogram produced, highlighting the importance of sustainable sourcing. There are brands like Nygaard and Aritzia that carry cashmere products, and I was actually really surprised to see this. So I recently bought a 100% cashmere beanie, like cat, whatever you want to call it, from Lego Heritage, which is a company in Australia. And it was so soft. I was like, oh my gosh, I love this. And then I started looking more into cashmere and I was really surprised to see Aritzia actually has a lot of different cashmere products that you can buy. So things like sweaters, cardigans, scarves, things like that are super, super soft. Again, you would want to look into something like organic in this space because of the idea and the importance of sustainable sourcing, which I'm going to talk about in a second. Because obviously, you might be thinking, okay, well, it's wool. It's a natural fabric from a sheep. How can it be organic? But I will talk about that in a moment. The other two that you can get are alpaca. So alpaca wool is soft and hypoallergenic, sourced from alpacas in Peru, Bolivia, and Chile. Alpaca wool is known for its moisture wicking properties and does not contain lanolin, which we know wool from sheep do, making it suitable for those with sensitivities to that. So there's a lot of alpaca out there. There's like Mech has alpaca wool products, and I've seen it. Actually, I even saw it at Lululemon has like a blend of it. Then we have sheep wool. So sheep wool is coarser wool from various breeds around the world. Regular sheep wool is often used for blankets, outerwear, and carpets. Patagonia has wool. There's tons of brands that have wool. I actually have wool, like sheepskin covers for my benches at my dining room table that were bought from Pottery Barn, maybe. And those are super warm, but it is a much coarser wool for sure. Now, when you're thinking wool, you might be thinking like exactly like I was, how can it be organic if it's natural? Like if it's just coming off of an animal, how can it be organic? But it can be, and it depends on how the sheep is raised and the practices used in the production of the wool. So first off, we have the animal welfare standards. So organic wool comes from sheep that are raised in accordance with specific animal welfare standards. This means they are provided with a humane living environment, adequate space, and proper care. Feed and nutrition. So organic certification often requires that the sheep are fed organic feed, which is free from synthetic pesticides, herbicides, and GMOs. This ensures that the animals are not exposed to harmful chemicals. Land management. The land on which the sheep graze must be managed organically. This involves practices that promote soil health, biodiversity, and sustainability, avoiding synthetic fertilizers and pesticides. No harmful chemicals. So during the processing of the wool, organic standards require that no harmful chemicals or dyes are used. This includes avoiding harsh chemicals in washing, sourcing, and the dyeing processes. And then there's the certification. So to be labeled as organic, wool products often need to be certified by a recognized organic certification body, which ensures that the wool meets specific organic farming and processing standards. While wool is a natural product, organic wool adheres to strict standards that ensure environmentally friendly practices and animal welfare, distinguishing it from conventional wool that may involve the use of chemicals and less humane practices. So my 2 cents on this is that I think if you can get access to organic wool, whether it's organic cashmere or alpaca or sheep or merino wool, by all means, go for it. However, I think it's hard to find it and it's really expensive. So for me personally, I think choosing something that's made out of wool over, polyester or nylon or whatever other fabrics we're about to talk about is a much healthier, better choice. Obviously, organic wool is better than that, but I think anything wool, cashmere is better than something synthetic. So it's a great place to start. Again, in my opinion, it's probably almost like impossible to have a full wardrobe that's going to be 100% organic in every single fabric, right? Organic cotton, organic wool, organic everything. So do the best that you can. I would start with simply just choosing those more natural fibers in the first place and seeing how you do and how you can go from there. The next and the last healthy fabric that we definitely have to talk about is silk. Silk is produced by silkworms, primarily the Bombyx mori, which is cultivated in China, India, and Brazil. The process of obtaining silk is pretty fascinating. So basically, the silkworms spin cocoons made of a single silk thread that can be up to 1,000 meters long. Once the cocoons are harvested, they are boiled and steamed to kill the pupae, which is like I don't know what that is. It's a cocoon. I think it would be the babies is what I'm taking from that, like the eggs, and make it easier to unravel the silk threads. Research from the International Journal of Biological Macromolecules highlights the unique properties of silk, including its strength and moisture wicking abilities. Silk is hypoallergenic and has a smoother texture that is gentle on the skin, making it an excellent choice for sleepwear and bedding. So silk is great for sleepwear and bedding. I have had silk pillowcases, which are really great for your hair, and they're really soft. And they are really soft, and they don't like make your hair frizzy or anything like that. It is a little cooler to touch. So for those people who sleep really hot, I definitely would recommend it because I think it can be much nicer and feel much nicer on your skin and keep you cooler during the day or during the night when you're wearing it. So there's a lot of silk out there. Obviously, it is a bit more expensive, but again, we are choosing more natural fabrics and we are trying to reduce our toxin exposure. So, that typically, unfortunately, comes with a price tag when we're talking about clothing. Okay, now that we talked about healthy fabrics, I definitely want to talk about the ones to avoid, the unhealthy clothing and things, and why they are not the best for us. So first and foremost, we have conventional cotton. So the first unhealthy fabric that we definitely want to start with is conventional cotton. So while cotton is a natural fiber, conventional cotton is one of the most chemically intensive crops. The EPA lists pesticides used in cotton farming as potential carcinogens. A study found in Environmental Health Perspectives highlights the negative health effects associated with exposure to these chemicals, including skin irritations, respiratory issues, and long-term health problems. There are a lot of issues with conventional cotton, like I just talked about, but in particular, you can experience hormonal disruptions due to the pesticide exposure, especially women, while children can suffer from more acute effects like skin rashes or respiratory distress. So you can look for organic alternatives. Even brands like American Apparel would be a great alternative. But conventional cotton just uses so much pesticides that it just rubs off on us and makes us all react in different ways that are harmful. So like I briefly talked about, the 100% organic cotton is the way to go when you are choosing cotton. Then we have polyester. This synthetic fabric is made from petroleum-based products, which is crazy. I did not know this, okay? Studies have shown that polyester lacks breathability, leading to overheating and skin irritations. Additionally, the production of polyester contributes to microplastic pollution, which can harm marine life. Research published in Environmental Pollution discusses the impact of microplastics released during washing this. So it can cause skin irritations due to lack of moisture wicking properties, and the microplastics released can have broader environmental impacts that affect everybody's health in the community. So polyester is everywhere. Okay, think like Forever 21. Think any type of cheap fabric is made out of polyester. Things that like deteriorate quickly in the wash or break or rip easily, usually polyester, and it is a petroleum-based product. I had no idea that that was the situation. Even when I was looking at Callahan's Halloween costume, after doing this research, I bought it a while ago. He's an alien. And I look at the tag and it says 100% polyester. So when you think polyester, think of like those cheap Halloween costumes that you can buy. That's exactly the fabric. So bad for you, so bad for the environment as well with the microplastic pollution. Then we have rayon. So although it's derived from natural sources, the production process for rayon involves harsh chemicals that can leach into the final fabric. Studies have shown that the manufacturing process of rayon contributes to water pollution and environmental degradation. So again, exposure to these chemicals that are in the production of rayon can cause skin irritations and respiratory issues, which we need to be really careful with brands that heavily feature rayon. Unfortunately, the new pajamas that I bought that I'm actually wearing the bottoms of right now are made out of rayon, and I had no idea, again, prior to understanding any of this. Then we have nylon. Nylon is a synthetic option derived from petrochemicals. Nylon can cause skin irritations due to its lack of breathability. The production process is also environmentally taxing, contributing to carbon emissions. So nylon traps heat and moisture and can lead to conditions like yeast infections and other skin irritations. Nylon is used, again, everywhere. Lululemon, H&M is very stretchy. So like it has the 4-way stretch, but it is not breathable at all. And it is really taxing on the environment. Last but not least, we have acrylic, which again, made from petrochemicals. Acrylic is often used as a wool substitute. While soft, it can release microplastics into the environment. Studies have shown that washing synthetic fabrics contributes to microplastic pollution in water systems and can harm aquatic life. Again, it can cause skin sensitivity and irritation, particularly to children with delicate skin. So be aware of these brands and these different fabrics. So I think something that I did want to also briefly talk about is kind of like what we can do when we are choosing our clothing. So we've talked about the healthy fabrics, how they all work, why they're healthy and clothing. We've talked about unhealthy ones, but let's talk about actually what you can do as a consumer, as a person who cares about their health and the health of their family and loved ones. So first and foremost, read labels. Just like we do when we do with food, right? Like we turn over the box, we read the nutrition label. Let's do the same with the clothing that we're buying. So when shopping, look for certifications like GOTS, which is GOTS. This is the Global Organic Textile Standard, or OEKO-TEX, which ensure that the fabric meets specific environmental and safety standards. I'm going to dive a bit more into GOTS because we kind of see it everywhere once you start looking for it in these like healthier options. So it was established in 2006 and is the leading textile processing standard for organic fibers, including ecological and social criteria. So why does it matter? It has the environmental responsibility. So GOTS ensures that organic textiles are produced in a way that minimizes environmental impact. It prohibits harmful chemicals, ensuring that the final products are safe for consumers and the environment. It has social responsibility. So GOTS also sets standards for working conditions in the textile industry, ensuring fair wages and safe working environments for workers. A study in the International Journal of Occupational and Environmental Health emphasizes the importance of fair labor practices in textile production. And then traceability. GOTS requires that the entire supply chain from raw materials to finished products be certified, allowing consumers to trace the origin of their textiles and ensure ethical practices. That's awesome. I just love to hear about that. And I think it's such a high standard to meet that, it's a healthy fabric. It's socially, you're supporting people in a environment, not a sweatshop that, treats people horrifically, and you're helping the environment, your health, people. Like, what more can you really want? So reading the labels, number one, is the best thing that you can do, and understand what you're buying. Number two, research the brands. Support brands that prioritize sustainability and ethical production. Many companies are transparent about their sourcing and manufacturing processes. Number three, prioritize quality over quantity. Let's get rid of fast fashion. You do not need 5 new crop tops or whatever you're buying, or dresses for the season that are suddenly in style. So invest in high quality, durable fabrics that will last longer and reduce waste in the long run. Choosing fewer, higher quality pieces will also simplify your wardrobe, which we want to do. Number four, you can consider secondhand options. I have a friend who's super into this, into thrifting. So it's a great way to find unique pieces while promoting sustainability. It's also way more affordable. And last but not least, care for your fabrics. Proper washing and drying can extend the life of your fabrics. Follow care instructions to avoid damage and reduce the need for replacements. I think that's huge. I think that's so important, and you can look online. How do you wash wool, silk, bamboo, linen, organic cotton? Like, look at everything. A lot of it is like cold water, lay flat to dry, honestly, or like dry and very like low heat in the tumble dryer type of idea. So I think that is a really nice, well-rounded amount of information that you need. I don't think that we need more than that. I do want to do a quick, brief look at, different stores. So I think like if we look at something like Lululemon, the reason I talk about them is because, again, I used to work there. So I understand their fabric a little bit and their products. Last night I did a deep dive into like what they offer, right? So I type in like wool in their search bar, merino wool, cashmere, like seeing what comes up. And it's so interesting because it'll say like wool blend sweater, for example. So they have to put the word blend in there. And then you click on the product and you go and read the percentages of what's in there. And it'll say like 29% merino wool, 50% nylon, 5% spandex, or whatever it is. And it's broken down. So it's like, while it has the wool in it, it is not a cleaner choice for your skin, for your health, because it is a blend and there's so many other things added in there, unfortunately. So I don't know I think, I have a lot of Lululemon, but if I'm going to buy more is a different question versus looking at healthier options now. They have like their different proprietary fabrics. So Luon is like the most common one, and it includes cotton, conventional cotton, nylon, which we know is made from petrochemicals now, and provides stretch and breathability. And while it's comfortable and obviously stretchy, the sourcing is not great for it at all. And again, it rubs off on you and leaches those pesticides into your skin, and the, impact of all of that on your hormones, skin rashes, and everything like that is sufficient. And it's also not very breathable at all. Although I guess like adding the cotton does make it a bit more breathable than if it was just the nylon. Then there's Nulu, which is very similar. And they also have Eco Nile. So Lululemon has started to incorporate recycled nylon fabrics like Eco Nile, which is made from discarded fishing nets and other nylon waste. This aligns with the trend of using recycled materials to minimize environmental impact. This is cool. I think it's great that they're kind of like starting to bring in fabrics that, impact the environment less. But for me, like my number one is always my health. And so how does that impact my health? Is it still processed using a bunch of chemicals, harsh chemicals that are going to rub off on my body and my skin and cause an eczema flare-up? While the environment is obviously super important as well, I would like both in the garments that I'm wearing. And again, they do have some merino wool, options, but it is, it is a blend of fabric. It is not its own. And the last thing I want to shout out is do your research, look for the brands. And there are some ones that I really love for kids and babies. So I just want to shout them out if this is you and you're in this space. So the Gap actually has 100% organic cotton options. There's not a lot, but they do have some options. Is a great place to start, and it's really affordable. Burt's Bees Baby has 100% organic cotton and non-toxic dyes that they use. People love Quinn, which specializes in organic fabrics and eco-friendly practices, gender-neutral clothing for babies and toddlers. There's Finn and Emma, Maury, Earth Baby, Posh Peanut. Another one that I love is Pehr, which is spelled Pehr. Offers a collection of beautiful organic cotton baby clothing and accessories, focusing on playful designs and quality craftsmanship. This is one of my go-tos. Then we have Engel. Engel is a German brand, and it specializes in organic wool and cotton clothing. Their products are known for their softness, warmth, and breathability, making them perfect for delicate skin. I just got a gift from somebody, and it is a full Engel, what would you call it? Like a bodysuit, like a outer layer for a baby. Essentially, it can cover your hands, feet, and has a hood as well. And we love it. It's a bit big for Callahan right now, but it will be his like outerwear suit when we go out in the cold, because it's 100% organic wool, and it is very, very warm, but breathable, and sweat wicking and moisture wicking. So Engel is great. Again, there's a lot of European brands that are actually super, super healthy for you. It's almost like I think they are better than the North American ones. You just have to find ones that look a little bit more modern, in my personal opinion. Some of them look like, you're dressing your kids to be in like Anna Green Gables or something, which is not my style at all. Binibamba, I just did a big order from them. They focus on eco-friendly handmade baby clothing. Binibamba uses organic materials and emphasizes sustainability while offering stylish designs. From them, I ordered 100% wool booties, gloves. I ordered their sheep skin layer. It's called like a foot muff. So essentially this goes in the stroller, and it's like basically you put the baby inside. So the whole thing on the inside is sheepskin and sheep wool and fur. I guess it's not fur. I guess it's wool. But essentially this keeps the baby super, super warm inside the stroller. So you don't necessarily need like all these different blankets and things like that. And they also have like bags and sweaters, and I'll probably do another order from them when they do their Black Friday sale later in November. Binibamba is probably my favorite because it's the most modern company that I've seen that does healthier materials so far, but I'm still looking. And then we have Simple Folk. Simple Folk creates timeless, high quality baby and children's clothing. They also have adult clothing from organic cotton and linen, focusing on sustainability and comfort. Their pieces are beautiful. I will say that they are expensive. So Simple Folk, like they have this romper right now that I would buy for myself. I think it's probably like, might be $200, something like that. So it is more pricey, but it's beautiful pieces. And again, it's much healthier fabrics and it's going to last a long time. So I really recommend checking all of those ones out. I will link all of them in the show notes for you. I'm trying to get Binibamba to come on my podcast, and so we can talk about this further. Maybe they will. We will see. But I really hope that this provided a great overview on fabrics for you. I wanted to look at healthy ones and unhealthy ones, and small changes can lead to a significant impact on your health and the environment. By being mindful of your fabric choices, you're not just investing in your health, but also contributing to a more sustainable future. I learned so much when researching this episode. I hope you learned a lot too. Biohacking your wardrobe and your clothing is just one aspect, but it still is super important. And as someone who gets eczema and has seen my son get eczema now, this is really top of mind for me. So thank you for tuning in to Biohacking with Brittany today. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with your friends and family and leave a review. Don't forget to check out my website for more resources and tips on living your healthiest life, and my Instagram at biohackingbrittany or TikTok at biohacking. And until next time, take care and keep biohacking your wellness journey. And I will catch you soon for another episode. Thanks for listening to another episode of Biohacking with Brittany. If you're interested in finding the show notes or the sponsors for this episode, you can do so on my website, which is biohackingbrittany.com. Remember to follow me on Instagram, where I'm most active. My handle is at biohackingbrittany. And if you're interested in working together and you want to email me directly, you can do that. My email is info@biohackingbrittany.com. And I look forward to hearing from you and having you tune in next week.